Let's dive right into this explainer and explore a really frustrating mystery. Why does our own brain sometimes work against us when we crave connection the most? You know the feeling. You feel completely isolated, yet you find yourself turning down invitations. Well, the first thing you need to know is that you are not broken. Loneliness isn't just some sad feeling you have to quietly endure. It's actually a biological warning alarm.
So why on earth does our own brain sabotage us when we just want to make friends? It comes down to the fact that feeling lonely is a deeply ingrained evolutionary survival mechanism. Think back to our ancestors on the ancient savanna. Surviving alone out there, basically impossible. If you wandered off from the group, you were in serious danger. So our bodies developed this intense alarm system to keep us safe. Let's look at exactly how this starts and, more importantly, how to stop it.
Section 1. The start. The warning alarm. At its core, loneliness works exactly like hunger or thirst. It's just your body telling you that you need people to survive. When your stomach growls in a quiet room, you don't feel deeply ashamed, right? You just go get some food. But for some reason, we constantly hide our loneliness. We treat it like this massive personal failure, when literally it's just your brain saying your social connections are running a bit low today. The evolutionary researcher John Cacioppo really hit the nail on the head here. He showed that this emotional pain is just an ancient tool meant to force us back to the safety of the tribe. And, a lot more people are feeling this way right now compared to last year. That part is incredibly real, so this explainer isn't here to tell you to just get over it, because a totally functional alarm becomes a massive problem if it gets jammed in the on position. Section 2. The circle, the hypervigilant brain. When you feel lonely for a long time, your brain actually changes. It goes into this state of hypervigilance. Because our evolutionary history taught us that being alone equals immense danger, your brain shifts entirely into self-preservation mode. It starts obsessively watching everyone for the tiniest signs they don't want you around, automatically assuming the environment is hostile. This creates a really vicious cycle. Brain scans actually show that lonely people spot social threats in a split second, way before they're even consciously aware of it. So you might see a friend looking busy or stressed, and your brain instantly thinks, oh, they hate me. To protect yourself from getting hurt, you pull back, you act cold. But then other people think you don't like them, so they walk away. And your brain sits there going, see, I absolutely knew they would leave me. It's a complete rewiring under the hood. Your brain's threat detector, the amygdala, goes into absolute overdrive, firing off at completely neutral social cues. At the exact same time, your ventral striatum, which handles your reward system, basically shuts down. So social situations suddenly feel incredibly dangerous instead of fun. This is exactly why simply putting a group of chronically lonely people in a room together usually fails. Their high alert brains just trigger each other's fear responses. Section 3. The surprise. A brain workout. Okay, here's a pretty wild plot twist. Experiencing short spells of loneliness might actually protect your brain. Yeah, you heard that right. One massive study tracking people over many years found that short, temporary spells of loneliness were actually linked to fewer memory problems later down the road. But we have to be really careful with this data. This is just a link researchers noticed. It's not proof that loneliness cures memory loss. The takeaway here is that brief social pain acts like a quick workout for your brain. It jolts you and prompts you to go make friends again. The health crisis we always hear about, that is entirely about getting stuck in that chronic long-term loop. Section 4. The limits. Honesty about the science. We definitely need to be honest about the science here because some of the health stats floating around are a little overblown. For instance, you've probably heard people say that loneliness is as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's a terrifying statistic. But there's a catch. That famous study measured objective isolation. It looked at people who physically had absolutely nobody around them. It did not measure subjective loneliness, which is that sad internal feeling of being alone, even if you're in a crowded room. We really have to be precise about what the data is actually measuring before we panic. The same goes for brain scans. They only show us correlations. We absolutely see links between loneliness and things like a shrinking hippocampus, but we cannot definitively prove that the loneliness caused the physical brain shrinkage. It might actually be the other way around. Early cognitive decline might simply make people feel more isolated from the world. Section 5. Breaking the cycle. Turning off the alarm. So, knowing all this, how do we actually break the circle? Well, as we've seen, we can't just tell someone to go make friends or force them to go to a party. That backfires. We have to change how we think about other people first. We have to fix this from the inside out.
This is exactly where cognitive behavioral therapy comes in. It's a remarkably simple, effective kind of talk therapy. It essentially helps you catch those automatic negative thoughts in real time. It teaches you that your fears, like assuming someone hates you because they didn't text back immediately, are just guesses. They are not real facts. From there, you start with tiny, ridiculously low-stakes, real-world tests. You might just say hello to a neighbor, or maybe you help out at an animal shelter where there's barely any social pressure at all. By doing this, you are systematically proving to your hypervigilant brain that people are actually safe. And those small steps, that is how the alarm finally gets turned off.
If there is one thing you take away from this explainer, let it be this. Loneliness is just an alarm. It is not who you are. It's just a biological signal telling you it's time to connect, and you absolutely have the power to turn that alarm off. And hey, if you're feeling stuck, a talk therapist can help you navigate this. You really don't have to figure it all out alone. I'll leave you with this one final thought. You have the power to step right out of that circle. So, what tiny, real-world test will you try today? Go out there and test the hypothesis that the world is hostile. You might just find that people are much, much warmer than your brain's alarm system wants you to believe.